If you're a coach and you are ready to make your first million, then this video is for you. Let's go. You became a coach because you want to help people. And also because you want to lead people. Now, if you want to lead people to become the highest and best versions of themselves, then it stands to reason that you need to step into the highest and best version of you. One way to do that is by becoming more prosperous. Everybody on this planet wants to have a better life. And you, as a coach, get to embody that and be that and show other people that they can have that too. So it starts with you. That is one of many really good reasons why you could and should go after your first $1 million as a coach. When you make more money, you're able to invest more resources into your own well-being and also into the well-being of those around you, the well-being of your community, of your country, of your planet. And when you make more money, not only do you get to support the causes that you care about, you get to be someone in the world who's an inspiration to others. And finally, making money allows you to have a legacy and leave a bigger impact after you're gone. So what does it take to have a $1 million coaching business? Well, it takes a lot of things, and we'll talk about a few of them. But I would say the most important thing, or at least the most important thing for me, was the business model and having clarity on how you can have a business model that has the ability to grow and scale. The truth is, it's very difficult to make $1 million with a one-on-one coaching practice. The few coaches who could do that don't, because they've figured out how to leverage and scale themselves. For example, Tony Robbins probably could charge $100,000, $200,000, $1 million even. Maybe he even does charge that to coach people. But that's not his only coaching business model. He has events, he has programs that other people deliver for him. He's got trainings, he's got certifications, he's got all sorts of things, because that's how you build a large, scalable, successful coaching business. Is you have multiple revenue streams and you have monthly recurring revenues and you have other people who are able to support you and even lead your programs for you. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. That's the future. I call that a phase 3 business model. We're going to talk about a little bit earlier stage coaching businesses. How do you hit that first $1 million? Well, the first step up into that $1 million stratosphere, in my opinion, is about finding leverage and being able to scale yourself some. It doesn't necessarily mean licensing and certification programs, which I believe come a little further down the line. But that first $1 million is about, instead of doing one-on-one coaching, it's about doing some sort of group coaching or to do some sort of virtual or digital program. That said, this video is not about virtual, digital, subscription types of programs. Why? Well, because those types of programs, in my belief, in my experience, they take technology, they take funnel building, they take mass marketing, Facebook ads, Google ads, traffic building, and I'm not into any of that stuff. I'm into in-person experiences, in-person relationships. So for me, the model that has led me to cross that $1 million mark has been the group coaching / mastermind model. So we're going to talk about how do you build a program like that from your current one-on-one coaching business. Now, before I continue and I give you the strategies, I want to invite you to please subscribe to my channel and like this video. So here's what I've noticed. $1 million coaches, including myself, have a few things in common. Number one, they have a clear and narrow audience focus. They're not coaches for everybody and anybody. They have a narrow niche. Now, I know what you're thinking. Maybe you might be thinking that, well, Tony Robbins serves anybody and everybody, kind of, and that's not how he started out. Most of these very successful coaches got to where they are and having a much broader audience by first focusing in on a niche, whether that niche is real estate professionals or financial professionals or wellness people or health coaches, people like that. There's usually some sort of narrower focus. Corporate coaching, pick what it is that you are both, number one, drawn to and that you desire and that you love, and also something that you are ideally suited for, so that you have both the passion and also the talent for whatever you're choosing. So to give you an example from my personal experience, I was a consultant or coach working with a wide variety of clients. I was basically, if you've heard me talk about this before, you know that I joke around that my business model used to be anything I can do to make a buck, which also meant anyone I can work with to make a buck. So that was the universe. At some point, it narrowed to women. At some point, it narrowed to women entrepreneurs. And then at some point, it narrowed to women entrepreneurs who were also coaches, consultants, and speakers. And then because I was able to penetrate the market with that niche, eventually my brand was able to get broader again, and now I work with men and women who are coaches, consultants, and speakers. One of my mentors, Rory Vaden, he talks about this concept called penetrating Sheehan's wall, which is that you need a niche to get through the wall of obscurity, but once you get through there and you've penetrated that wall, then you can now go a little bit broader, or a lot broader even. The second thing that great coaches have with the ability to scale is that they have a signature system. They have a process by which they deliver results consistently to client after client. Now, it doesn't mean that you need to become a cookie cutter coach, that you're doing the exact same thing with every client, but it does mean that you have a system and a process that you take people through that generates results, and that consistently and reliably generates those results. And that your signature system is something that differentiates you as an expert, as a thought leader, as someone who's done the work of codifying your methodology. So for example, Mike Michalowicz developed his Profit First system, and then he was able to turn Profit First into a certification program, a licensing model, all the things that to drive all these other new revenue streams by codifying the Profit First system. And it's, by the way, very, very simple. Doesn't have to be complicated. And by the way, I also have videos on how to develop your signature coaching system, which I will link to below in the notes. Another thing that you need to have as $1 million coach is you've got to have leads. You got to have prospects. You have to have opportunities for sales and enrollment. So you need to have some sort of brand and marketing, a consistent marketing machine or a marketing engine that's driving leads on a consistent basis. Now, in the early days of my business, my lead flow was roller coaster up and down. Now, as a more mature business, I've been in business 15 years. I've been using this model for almost 10. Now, my lead flow is much more stable. It comes from here, from YouTube. Thank you very much. And it also comes from speaking. Those are my two primary sources of leads, and also referrals from existing clients. Another thing that's really important in order to cross that $1 million mark is you can't be doing it all alone. In fact, truth be told, I have never seen a solo coach make more than about $300,000 a year. I feel like that's kind of maybe not for everybody, it's probably not universal, but what I've seen is, generally speaking, that's kind of an upper limit for somebody who doesn't have outside coaches, who doesn't have trainings or certifications, who doesn't have, a decent amount of support. So who do you need on your team, and what will they do to help you get to that next level? And that really, a lot of it depends on you and your gifts and your strengths and your weaknesses. So for example, if you've ever seen any of my content about personality type, wealth dynamics, you'll know that I'm a star creator profile. And as a star creator profile, the ideal person for me to have on my team is some sort of supporter, some sort of admin person to take the nitty-gritty, mundane, day-to-day tasks like answering emails and picking up the phone and things like that, signing documents. That's the ideal first person for me to hire. And in addition to that, the next ideal person for me to hire is some sort of finance, bookkeeping, accounting type of person. So that's for my profile. So for you, what is that thing that will allow you to make more money? What is the thing that will free up enough of your time to focus more on the business? It might be that your ideal next person to go to $1 million is a salesperson or a deal maker type of person. Or maybe it's a project manager to keep track of all the different projects you've got going on. I don't know. But essentially, it's necessary to have people that support you in order to get to that next level. That's enough for this video. I could keep talking for days about this topic. Check out some of the other videos that I mentioned. And if you want to work with me to build your coaching business to $1 million, then I would love to connect. The way I work is that I have a program called the Superstar Business Breakthrough. It is literally designed to help you map out $1 million coaching model for you that's aligned with your gifts, your strengths, your unique brand. And you can find out more about that at superstarbusinessbreakthrough.com.